I have experienced some of the worst limerence of my life, so I want to talk about how to identify limerence and how to get over limerence. Basic masterclass if you don't know what limerence is. Limerence is basically involuntary, obsessive, romantic infatuation. So it's basically when you kind of create an idea of a person as being the answer to your problems or being this ultimate thing that you want and you need, and you get very like obsessed with them. This sounds like really crazy and stalkerish, but I think that everybody kind of, when you're falling in love with someone, is kind of a little bit of a presence of limerence in that you're thinking about them a lot, you're fantasizing, maybe you're not fully seeing them for who they are. Limerence becomes problematic when it's one-sided and when you no longer feel like you have control of it, in the sense that you don't want to be thinking about this person anymore. Maybe they're gone from your life, maybe you're broken up and you're still in this limerent state. The most important thing to combating limerence is, when you're in it, to be able to identify that what you're experiencing is limerence. And second to that, I think, is realizing that limerence usually only comes when it's kind of one-sided and when you don't really have someone. Limerence, I think, is triggered and can oftentimes be more present in people that have an anxious attachment style. Hello, me. Stems from a place of not being fully chosen. We don't usually get limerence for the person that's fully present, that's fully stable, that's choosing us, that's consistent. We get limerence for the person that we felt half chosen by, but they have one leg out. We feel limerence for the ex that we're still in love with that broke up with us. We feel limerence for the avoidant that's never quite there for our needs. I think when you identify that what you're experiencing and projecting on this person is actually something that people have identified psychologically as an experience you're having, and isn't really to do with them, it really helps to kind of sober you up. Limerence can also feel good and feed like delulu and fantasies of you getting together with this person. So I think, like, if you want to get out of it, identify that you're in limerence, and second to that, identify that it's because you don't have them, and third to that, identify that it's actually not really about them. Then, now that you've recognized that it's not really about them, ask yourself what that projection is telling you about what you need. What is it that you feel like this person embodies and represents that you don't have, that makes you want to chase them, that makes you get in this limerent state? For example, for me, I had limerence with a person, and I really reflected because I had a really bad case of limerence and it was very hard for me to like get over. I think because this person had really like built up my trust and then pulled away, but I recognized that it was because this person, when I was with them, had made me feel very validated, very seen in the sense of like deeper qualities about myself, very admired. And I realized that's something that I kind of lack in my life. And this kind of sucks, honestly. Like, I'm going to be so for real. It can feel like, oh, but it just doesn't feel as good when I'm really present with myself, when I give myself safety, when I give myself compliments. But I think if you actually want to make a change, then you need to be so over it that you're like, no, I need to give this to myself. Like, I'm sick of being in this state. And that's kind of what happened for me. I just started to like try and give that back to myself in practical moments. Maybe for you, if this person represents novelty, how can you bring novelty into your life? If this person represents a really beautiful sensual experience, how can you bring more sensuality to your life? Also, now that I've been through like really bad limerence, I think what helps me to not develop it is, especially for my anxious girls, like approach relationships like a little bit slower. I know that quote that's like, a crush is a lack of information. Limerence is essentially the same, and usually that person is not present in our lives enough for us to be able to see like the full spectrum of their humanity. I guarantee you, if you got married to this person, like, 2 years down the line, even 1 year, you're not going to be in this limerent state. You're going to see their flaws, you're going to see them for the full human self. So I think in getting to know people slowly and taking your time, that can be a time to like fully reveal that person's character, their good parts, their bad parts, put it in touch with reality, which limerence is not. I know that also limerence feels very real, so while you're experiencing it in yourself, it can help to see it as a vessel that's not yours, like as this energetic thing that you're experiencing that's outside of yourself, because the more that you can not identify with that limerence, the farther you're going to be able to get from it. Also, I think if you really want to get over the limerence and you still have contact with the person that you have limerence for, try and distance yourself from that person, remove them off of your socials, remove them from your life as much as you can, and kind of put your energy towards hobbies, towards friends, towards things that engage your energy in a more meaningful way, and slowly over time, your limerence will fade, I promise.
This is what limerence actually is and why it feels so intense. Because if you've ever felt obsessed with someone that you barely know, This will make sense. I've experienced this so many times. You're obsessively thinking about them all the time. You're constantly checking their socials. You're checking your phone to see if they've texted you. You analyze every single interaction that you have with them and feeling like you can't switch it off in your brain. I thought it meant that I just really like them and that this could be my soulmate. That's why I'm so obsessed with them. But limerence isn't love. It's your mind attaching to a feeling and trying to hold on to it. It's built on uncertainty, not connection. You don't actually know where you stand. Their actions are very inconsistent and very unclear. You're trying to figure them out rather than just being in the present moment and experiencing them. And this uncertainty is what fuels the obsession. Your brain is filling in the gaps. It's imagining conversations and scenarios. You assume how they feel about you and you create a perfect version of them in your head. It feels so real, but it's not grounded in reality. It creates emotional highs and lows, feeling amazing when they give you attention and low when they don't. Your mood is constantly shifting based on them and how much attention they're giving you. And this highs and lows is what is making it so addictive. It is the same as gambling. It's the exact same feeling, the unpredictability that is making it so addictive. Your mood is constantly shifting based on them. And this intensity is so addictive. It is the exact same feeling that people get from gambling. It's the same. So if you're in this right now, don't just look at the person. Start noticing the pattern, the uncertainty, the fantasy, the emotional swings. Because once you see it clearly, it loses its power over you. If you're ready to feel calm instead of obsessive, to like someone without it taking over your mind, to actually feel secure within yourself when it comes to love, that's exactly the shift I help you heal in my ebook. If you're ready for this, go grab it. It's in the link in my bio.
If you ever have a crush and you want to get over them, I have a piece of advice for you, how I get over my crushes. Any crush I've ever had, this is how I've gotten over them. And I don't know if that is the weirdest way possible to get over a crush. I think it just might be, but for some reason it works. Here's what I do. Every time I think about the person and I think about how much I like them and, oh, I have a crush on them and they're so great, right? And then I think about all the girls that like this guy currently. I think about all the girls that are probably talking to this guy and all the girls that probably are in the same position as me and currently have feelings for this guy, and he's probably telling them how great they are and how much he likes them and giving them all the signs, right? And I think to myself, wow, first of all, that kind of instantly turns me off if I think about the fact that other people have the same feelings that I have for somebody, and basically I'm not special. It doesn't really mean anything. So first of all, that turns me off. The second thing that turns me off is the fact that there was a girl before me. There was a girl before me, and that girl might be sitting at home crying over this guy, and she maybe deserves some more. I'm so serious. Like, I sit there and I'm like, well, this girl probably did so much for this guy and they probably have so much history and she feels the way that I feel, and maybe she deserves it, you know, maybe she deserves the love and they would be a great match. And I think about how much I would wish for that girl to just get her happy end, because I don't know if this is toxic empathy, but I'm like, yes, girl, I'm rooting for you. I want you to have him. I want you to have that love, like, because I can handle the heartbreak. I think to myself, who am I to have these feelings for someone if this other person came before me and they like them that much more and care about them that much more? Well, maybe not much more, but like, you know, they came before, so first come, first serve, I guess.
You typically obsess over people because when you were younger, you were ignored, you weren't acknowledged. So what happens is you grow up and then you seek out romantic partners that you almost know that you can't have. And the only reason why you're romantically connected to them or attracted to them is because you know there's a degree of unavailability that takes place in that connection. So you end up becoming obsessed over them, and you confuse that with love, when in reality, it's you just trying to play out a narrative of being chosen by someone that you know is not going to choose you. And the reason why is because growing up, you didn't feel chosen. So you're almost recreating that situation with somebody else, knowing that it's not going to be a happy ending, but you're only obsessing because your needs were never met. And then you start fantasizing about this person, thinking all the great ways that you guys can end up together, even though there's every red flag known to man, and you're just ignoring it because, again, you're emotionally unavailable. But the thing is, you think they're emotionally unavailable when in reality, it's you that's emotionally unavailable, and it becomes a cycle of hell that you can't get out of. And know that you are only obsessing over them because you can't have them, and that's literally just all it is.
I'm gonna lovingly squish your cheeks when I say this. If you're experiencing limerence right now, the positive qualities that you're projecting onto the person you like are yours. Oh, he's so kind and funny and nice and sweet. You're kind and funny and nice and sweet. Who is he? You don't even know him.
And he asked me, he said, see you next month? See you next month? He hadn't ever asked me that before.
Limerence and affairs. Why do I always bring it up? Because so few people understand it. Many times people who are having an affair think that they have met the love of their life. They're having a soulmate twin flame experience. This is common in affairs. And if you're having an affair right now, listen up. When you enter into an affair, hyper amounts of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin hit your brain. It's actually called the flame addiction. That means this hyper love, true emotions that you're feeling is actually just a drug addiction called limerence. It makes you excuse a whole lot of behaviors of yourself and the other person. Many times people who are in an affair, they see the red flags in the other person, but they excuse it because why? They're the twin flames and they're supposed to meet and have this love. This is a very dangerous concept and a dangerous way of thinking, because limerence, because of the hyper love addiction feeling that you get, the amounts of dopamine and serotonin that you get, they have linked to as addictive as crack cocaine. This is why you can't leave. It's not because they are the love of your life. It's because you are actually chemically addicted to this person. Now I know, I didn't want to hear that I was in limerence when I was in my affair. I didn't. I denied it. I said it was real love. I fought the people who tried to tell me the truth. But now that I'm on the other side and I'm outside of the affair fog, I can look back and say it 100% was. Limerence is so dangerous is because it fogs everything else around like a drug, and you're unable to think rationally or see things clearly. You even will choose your affair partner over your own children. That's drugs. What else besides drugs will somebody do that? Now, obviously, not everybody who's in limerence will choose their partner above their own children, but this is sadly a very common story. Look, if you're in an affair right now, or you've had one, I know you don't want to hear that it's not love. I know that you want to fight me on this actual fact that it's limerence and attachment. Sometimes people who start a relationship as an affair can get outside of that limerence phase, but only between 5 to 7% of affairs actually make it to the relationship state or phase or whatever you want to call it. And out of that, 73 to 80% end in divorce. So your chances aren't very good. You're in limerence. Get addiction trauma bond therapy before you hurt everybody, including your children.